to our Interfaith event this evening, where the speakers will be discussing the topic, Why Must I Suffer? My name is Ramona Fisher. I am the religion teacher here at Canterbury School, and I will be hosting the event this evening. I chose this topic this evening, Why Must I Suffer, out of my own experience here at Canterbury School. Many communities, when you're in a community, you have times of sadness, but we seem to have had many tragedies of deaths and illnesses and accidents that have truly been heartbreaking. So it is in that, out of my own experience in my own community, that we are addressing this topic this evening. Even though our purpose is to learn about each other's faiths, I got to be honest with you and tell you, I'm not very interested in listening to somebody talk about suffering if they have not experienced it. It's one of those topics where a person earns the right to be heard by their own life and their own story. And that is what we have this evening, our different speakers who have a story for us of their own suffering. And then because of that, we are going to be able to learn about their faiths. Some of them have had suffering invade every corner of their lives, and it's been heart-wrenching. So we are going to use the lens of suffering to truly help us understand each other. These speakers will say that their faith has been shaped and formed by these experiences, and each speaker will say that their faith has been their stronghold. So there are three questions that the speakers will be addressing this evening to help us understand their faiths. The first question, and these are in your program, is share with us how you have known or experienced suffering, being either a personal experience or professional experience. Then from the viewpoint of your faith, why do bad things happen to good people? Why must we suffer? From the viewpoint of your faith, how should we respond to those who are suffering? What are the words of comfort that we can give to those who are suffering? So as an audience, once again, I just want to remind you to be a humble listener, be willing to learn about other people so that our community truly can be made stronger. I want to thank the speakers for taking on this really difficult topic of suffering this evening. There are 5 faiths represented. We have Buddhist, Christianity with 2 representatives, a Catholic and Protestant, Hindu, Muslim, and Judaism. So let me introduce the speakers to you this evening. We have Dr. Prasad Mantravadi down here to my right. Dr. Mantravadi will be speaking to us from the Hindu perspective. He is a radiation oncologist here in Fort Wayne, and as his profession, he has seen much suffering. Arjay Rinpoche is the director of the Tibetan Mongolian Buddhist Cultural Center in Bloomington, and he will be speaking to us from the Buddhist perspective. Rinpoche has experienced much suffering personally and is actually doing some amazing work in alleviating suffering for others. Robert Rogers, next to me here, is the founder of the Mighty in the Land ministry. Robert founded this ministry out of his own tragic suffering, and God has used Robert to touch people's lives who are suffering and to give them hope, and he will speak to us from the Catholic perspective. Amani El-Hefni will be speaking to us from the Muslim perspective. She is a principal of the Universal Education Foundation Islamic School here in Fort Wayne, school growing by leaps and bounds under her guidance, quite amazing. Amani is a friend of mine, and she will be speaking from her own suffering. Michael Spath is a professor at IPFW, and he's an international expert. I should have asked him if I could say that, but I think pretty sure he is. He's an international expert on Palestinian-Israeli conflict, and he has started the Indiana Center for Middle East Peace. He will be speaking from the Protestant perspective, and it's great to have him here. Rabbi Mitchell Kornspan is a rabbi at the B'nai Jacob congregation here in Fort Wayne. And Rabbi has spoken at several of our interfaith events, and he just has a clear way of expressing beliefs from the Jewish faith. I told him one time he's a little bit like a rock star. Everybody wants Rabbi Kornspan here. It's true. His words this evening will come out of his own suffering as well as from the Jewish community. So I want to thank you, all of you, for being here this evening. Now let me tell you how the format of the evening will go. Like I've already said, there will be 3 questions that the speakers will be answering. Let me go through them one more time. The first question, share with us how you have known or experienced suffering, being either a personal experience or professional experience. Each speaker will get 4 minutes to tell us their story of suffering. Then the second question, from the viewpoint of your faith, why do bad things happen to good people? Why must we suffer? We as speakers originally had said that we were going to give 4 minutes for this question, but as we were in the back talking about it, it felt like we may have to go a little bit longer on this question. So we'll see how that goes. But that is the second question, a very important question and a big question to answer in 4 minutes. The third question is, from the viewpoint of your faith, how should we respond to those who are suffering? What are words of comfort that can be given to those who are suffering? And again, there will be 4 minutes that will be given to answer this question. After the questions have been answered, we will have a time where I will lead a discussion among the speakers for about 20-25 minutes to talk about the topic of suffering. Dr. Akbar up front here is our official time keeper this evening, and I will be watching him throughout the evening, and the speakers don't need to pay much attention to him. But I do need to tell you that all of the speakers have given me permission to cut them off if they decide to go too long. So just to let you know I'm not being rude, they've given me permission to do that this evening. Let me give you the order that we will be speaking this evening. Rabbi Kornspan will start us off. We'll move down here to Dr. Prasad Mantrafati, back to Michael Spath. Now, when I set this up, I thought it was clever, but they all said it's like playing tennis. Okay, RJ Rinpoche will be next, Amani, and then Robert will close our time together. Okay, so that's how the evening will unfold through all of the questions.